I've been making a survival game where you eat and drink stuff to add more seconds to your life. And one of the best things to eat is cooked meat, but it's kind of a pain to run around hunting animals, so I added breeding. But it's not like Minecraft breeding where you just mindlessly right-click, because this is the most realistic breeding experience ever added to any game ever. There's obviously pregnancy, but there's also genetics and epigenetics, fetus imprinting, and even becoming inbred. To start off with, you need to set the mood, so it either has to be nighttime near a campfire, or you need roses and rose petals on the ground. When the vibe is right, the animals will start to cuddle, which I pixelated since this is a child-friendly game. And it's actually so child-friendly that I made it so that a stork will deliver the newborn baby. The problem though is that it takes a long time for the stork to fly over, unless you shoot it down early with your tank or something. So I decided to leave the stork babies for only when you breed storks, and I added regular pregnancy and childbirth to the other animals, which worked out because the stork didn't look right when I made it pregnant anyways. You can feed the babies food to make them grow up faster, and certain foods have special effects, like their little tiny organs can't handle these toxic berries, and glue will make them slower. But since our goal is realism, you can also feed the pregnant mom certain foods to change how the baby turns out. So like feeding her toxic berries will make all of her children have less health, and feeding her glue will make all of her children slower. But the point of this game is to eat higher quality foods to add more seconds to your life. So giving this pregnant chicken healthy foods like blueberries and cooked meats will make her children have higher quality and maybe even golden meat. But if you force an animal to eat itself, like by feeding this pregnant chicken chicken meat, it'll increase the chances of her having twins or even triplets and quadruplets. And these genetics will carry on, so a twin is more likely to have twins themselves. And so you can easily go from eating one raw chicken meat and adding like 60 seconds to your life every 60 seconds to all of your chickens being pregnant with quadruplets that then get pregnant with even more quadruplets. I released this update on August 15th and didn't really think anything of it, but when I logged onto the server the next day to see what people were up to, there were so many animals and it was so loud. And it turns out that if you leave the animals alone, they'll just keep on breeding with each other. Even though I can see in the editor that these guys are brother and sister because they have the same mother, and this chicken is this chicken's mother. All of this breeding can make the game a little laggy, and not to mention it's against the will of God. So I had to add becoming inbred to my game to fix it. In real life, you're supposed to diversify the gene pool to avoid becoming inbred and having genetic disorders. So I added all these birth defects to my game. And now if you breed an animal with their own family member and wait like 30 seconds for their child to be born, it'll be at least a little bit inbred. This can mean anything from having multiple heads, to missing arms and legs, to a bunch of other issues. And you might be thinking, well, as long as the meat tastes fine, it doesn't matter. So actually the meat tastes morally wrong and doesn't add as many seconds to your life. And more importantly, these inbred chickens won't be able to have more children, so they're just going to lag up your game. And when other people visit your island, they're going to judge you. Speaking of judgment, it's probably not morally right to be killing these baby animals that can't defend themselves either, especially because when you make and take life at your own whims, you play God. And so every time you kill a baby animal, there's a 1% chance you'll go to hell to atone for your sins. Now you might be thinking, why is hell just a baby? And it's because you're supposed to sit and think about what you've done. But if you get impatient, it's just a baby, so you could give it a little punch. And that'll bring you to actual hell, where you'll have to beat the devil to go back to the regular world. You'll have to avoid his fire breath, all these horsemen walking around, and all the spikes on the ground that are for torture and stuff, but you can try picking up the spikes and dropping them on the devil's head. Although a lot of the time they don't reach, so a better strategy would be to wait for the devil to burn his horsemen into glue, and then glue a bunch of the spikes together to make sure they hit him. Beating the devil obviously unlocks deviled eggs and these deviled chickens, although I don't know which one came first. And these add a lot more seconds to your life than regular chickens. If you want to try my game out for yourself, it's called Seconds Until You Die, and it's out on Steam, the App Store, and the Android App Store. There's also multiplayer and some other crazy boss fights, and I'm adding a dating game simulator to make breeding even more realistic next time, so like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.